Hit it! That's what I'm talking about.
Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
It's a beautiful setting where we are. The sun's going down on another fabulous day.
When you see a familiar face, it makes you want to keep playing harder.
I don't know how you do it every year, but you top it.
First time playing, and it turns into street hockey. I'm a little worried about it.
Welcome, day 4 of the 11-day power play downtown at Riverworks. I'm Amy Lesakowski.
And I'm Mike Lesakowski.
We're excited to bring you a lot of great stuff tonight. 5 shifts came in, and we've got highlights. We've talked to captains, and I think we've raised quite a bit of money from yesterday. So Mike's happy to report.
We have. I think we're up to about $1,047,000, which is awesome. We're trying to get to 1.1, so please continue.
And we could not do this without our amazing sponsors. And the 11-day power play is presented by Clever Method in 2020. And we have our power player sponsors as well. And our overtime sponsors.
The money that we raise here goes to Roswell Park, Make-A-Wish Western New York, Camp Good Days and Special Times, as well as the Roswell Park Oshai Children's Hospital collaboration. We're very proud to give them the proceeds of this event.
You know, we're really excited about tonight. We could never do this event each year, day in and day out, without our amazing volunteers. So we're excited to talk to one of our volunteers and really show how much they do to keep this event going year after year for 11 days straight. It's going to be a great night, everyone. How are you feeling today, Mike?
I feel great. It's Sunday night, sun is shining. Saturday, this whole weekend's been unbelievable. But most importantly, we need to keep fundraising. We got to get to 1.1. We're at about 1 million, just under 1,050,000.
Are you drinking enough? I mean, water, of course.
Yes.
Excelsior's here every day, and they help us get our players through each game. And since 2017, they have been with us, and we're excited to present the tip of the day.
Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Josette Fisher. I'm the Director of Sports Medicine and Wellness with Excelsior Orthopedics. I am happy to announce that we are yet again the healthcare provider for the 11-day power play. This week, our team of experts will be sharing with all of you, either watching online or participating during the event, 11 healthy tips to keep you safe and active.
The 4th tip in our series is going to discuss hydration. As many of you know, hydration is always a hot topic in athletics, and I'm sure that hundreds of Gatorade commercials you've seen over the past year would support that. Number one thing I want to say before we get into our specifics is it's easier to start any event well hydrated versus trying to catch up just before the start. So with that being said, make sure you have adequate fluid intake prior to any event, sporting or otherwise. Prior to the event, the recommendation is to consume 16 to 20 ounces of either water or sports drink between 3 and 4 hours prior to the event. Approximately 15 to 20 minutes prior to the event, another 4 to 8 ounces is appropriate. This will allow your stomach to empty out fluid and not cause distress in the gastric system. During the event, it's recommended that every 10 to 15 minutes you consume another 3 to 4 ounces of water or sports drink. But what we really say, the easiest way to think about this, drink when you're thirsty and try to stay ahead of the game. It's easier to stay ahead than it is to play catch up. Following any event, we ask that you replace 16 to 24 ounces of water or fluid for every pound loss. If you don't weigh yourself in beforehand, that's okay. Just try to consume as much water or fluid as possible after your event to ensure that you're ready for your next shift.
Thank you everyone for checking our healthy tip of the day. If you do find yourself in need of orthopedic care, you can find us at excelsiorortho.com or give us a call at 716-250-9999. We'd be happy to serve you.
This morning I got a chance to connect with Brendan Bocart and also Lucy Bowen from the AJB Southtown Stars.
First shift of the day.
Brendan Bocart. Brendan, welcome.
Thank you.
So Brendan is the captain of the Southtown Stars. You have, well, I'll let you tell. Why don't you tell me about the team that's here? Who's it comprised of? Is it boys, girls, schoolmates? Who's on your team?
Well, it's mostly boys, I would say, but girls can obviously be a part of it.
And how old are they?
11 to 12,
11
probably.
to 12.
Maybe a little bit older too.
Yep. And tell me, just from a hockey sense, when did you start playing hockey?
When I was like 2 or 3, maybe.
Really, that young?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Me too. So obviously you love it because you've been playing for almost 10 years already.
Yeah.
You're only 12 years old, which is kind of cool.
I wish it would start back up again.
Oh, I know. So, yeah, let's talk about that for a second. You grew up in West Seneca, lived in West Seneca, right?
Yeah,
Orchard Park area. And then I think you mentioned you played for the Southtown Stars. Have you always played for the Southtown Stars?
Yes.
You have?
My whole hockey career.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I had a son, Liam, who played for West Seneca. So he played West Seneca all the way up through Squirts, and then he switched over to another organization, Junior Sabres.
All right.
And you must play at leisure rinks all the time, right?
Yeah.
And maybe West Seneca rink?
Uh-huh.
Awesome. So 4 years ago, a bunch of crazy guys played this hockey game for 11 days straight. Remember that? Yeah. Did you come watch it all?
I watched I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember that well.
Yeah, I was wondering if you did or not. And did you play in the kids game that was going on rink 2?
I actually played with a bunch of adults.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was the weirdest thing ever.
Okay.
But it was fun though.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was going on during our 11-day power play game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the 11-day power play is we raise money for cancer research and we raise money for places like Make-A-Wish and Camp Good Days, Shires Children's Hospital. Do you want to tell me who you're playing for during this game?
I'm playing in memory of my dad. He really loved hockey and he was a cancer survivor, so this is pretty important to him.
Yep. Your
Yeah.
dad was a friend of mine.
He was.
He was, and he was a really, really great guy, and I miss him.
Me too.
I don't know if you know this, but our community shift is very much has your dad's fingerprint on it, because when we did our original 40 event, we had an event that your dad ran. So we were playing our game, and on the other ice, we played a 24-hour game, hour at a time, and you played in it. And we had teams from all over the place. We had teams from Olean and outside of Buffalo, and a lot of Buffalo teams.
Yeah.
So they came in, played, they all raised money, and they left. And that was for a day during our event. And your dad ran that whole thing, and he organized the whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if you know that or not. He did a great job.
He did.
So when we finished that game, and Mrs. Lesakowski and I were kind of talking about, went really well, we want to continue it. The idea was, well, we just did that for 24 hours. We can invite teams come in and play the whole 11 days. So this event that we're doing right now that's raised over $5 million
Yeah.
was very much your dad had a huge part in it, and I'll never forget that. And you know, he'll always be a part of this, which is great.
Definitely.
Anything that any memories about the 11-day? You've played in a couple community shifts now. Anything that sticks out as, you know, a memory or fun or anything like that?
So since I played with a bunch of adults, I just thought it was hilarious how they all went easy on me. Like they would just like try so hard to just like let me score a goal. It was the funniest thing ever.
Well, that goes away when you get a little bit older, because
I bet. Yeah.
When you're 10 and 11, you get away with that. Now you're to the age where you're going to get better than those adults. So that's probably not going to happen for very much longer.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous because I haven't played in so long, and I bet I'm really rusty, and I'm just trying not to screw this up. So.
Well, I've played a couple times, and if you think you're rusty, as you get older, it gets harder. But we've had a bunch of teams play already. I played. It's a ton of fun. And you guys are kids. You've played ball hockey, road hockey in the driveway, whatever, in your basement.
Yeah.
So with that, your friends are out there warming up. Gear up and go have some fun.
All right. Yeah.
Great talking to you.
You too.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
From the beginning.
this place. That'll rock this place. That'll rock this place. Rock this place. Rock this place. Rock this
We're here at the 11-day power play at Riverworks. Tell me, who do you play for your hockey team?
I play for the Lady Stars out of Southtown Stars.
Southtown Stars that play out of Leisure Rinks?
Yep.
Awesome. And how old are you?
I'm 12.
You're 12. So that makes you Pee Wee in hockey terms. 12U, right?
Yep.
Yep. And how long have you been playing hockey?
This is my 9th year.
9th year?
I've been playing since I was 4.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I started playing hockey when I was 3, so I've only been playing for, I forget it. Do you play on an all-girls team or a mixed team?
An all-girls team.
All-girls team.
Yep.
And how are your ball hockey skills?
I think I'm better at skating, but I think I'll do pretty well.
Good,
Yeah.
good. When you heard through your coach or Brendan that we couldn't do ice hockey, we're not allowed to play ice hockey, so we changed it to ball hockey. Were you nervous? Like, what was your reaction to that?
I wish we could play ice hockey because it's just something that I think I'm better at than not ice hockey.
Than ball hockey?
Yeah, but I was still excited to do this.
Yeah. And is this? Have you played in other 11-day power plays?
No, this is my first one.
It's your first year?
Yep.
Well, it'll be tons of fun. Tell me what you're most looking forward to.
I'm most looking forward to play defense.
Playing defense?
Yep.
Okay, all right. With the 11-day power play, you notice we have different colored jerseys this year. And the reason for that is it's for cancer awareness. So you guys get to choose. You have beautiful light blue jerseys. You're playing against Burgundy.
Yeah. That's nice.
You guys are about to start. I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
Welcome. Thank you for playing. Thank you for fundraising. We'll see you. We're going to watch your game in a little bit, and then we looking forward to seeing you on the ice next year.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you, Lucy.
You too.
So every night we have a stat board, and it is sponsored by Lamar. And here's tonight's. We have a cumulative score. Wow. Home is 261. Away is 262. I mean, that reminds me of the original 40 event.
It was like within 10 goals for 10 days straight.
Blue and white. I mean, wow. Games played. We've had 17 games played here at Riverworks. Live stream time. Now, we have to give ourselves some credit here. We've been on a live stream for 14 hours and 9 minutes. And that's before tonight. So after tonight, we'll hit almost 18 hours. And jerseys unveiled. I think everyone knows at this point that our jersey colors are related to cancer, cancer ribbons and cancer colors. And we've been able to reveal 10 different colors so far.
We've had lavender, then we had black and white.
You're going to remember all this? Because we're 4 days in, huh?
Yeah.
Okay,
Lavender,
go ahead.
Black and white, red and white.
Almost. You're almost there.
Burgundy and light blue.
Okay, well, you almost got
Almost
there.
got 'em.
So more importantly, we have a great guest. I'm excited to introduce Zach Lamac. I always say your last name for me. Lamachia. Okay. I should know this because we've worked together. So Zach, I was telling the team today that when I saw your name on the script for tonight, I was like, wow, Mike, do you remember that email that we got from Zach, which was
awesome.
I think at this point 3 years ago? And you talked about, your goals of wanting to go to med school, but you had some time and you really wanted to donate your time because you saw what the original 40 did and whatever you could do. So you would come to the office a couple times a week and help me, just volunteer.
Yep.
Do you remember what we put you in charge of?
Oh, Twitter guy. I'm the Twitter guy. Oh, man. We locked down the little alert emoji. Oh, I use that all the time now. Didn't know what I'm talking about with the giveaways?
Oh, yeah. You had a little siren.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. I had so much fun doing that.
I think the last time you were with us, it was in the basement because we worked out of the basement of my house.
With the dogs, yep.
With the dogs. I think they liked you a lot.
Oh, I love the dogs.
I hope you liked them. But we also, the last time you were with us, I think I made you fold like 300 T-shirts and then I never saw you again.
Shocker.
There's no connection.
Okay.
There's nothing to do with the fold.
Coincidence?
Coincidence, yeah.
So your team is the Miracle Workers.
Yep.
And this is your 3rd year playing against Lighting the Lamp.
3rd year, yeah, wow.
And Nate, forgive me if I'm wrong, but Nate's one of your best friends who captains that team, and you guys play against each other.
Yep.
And you have women and you have guys, and you mix it up.
Yep. We're the same core group of people. Me and Nate have known each other since, 2012 when we started the UB club hockey team.
Yeah, talk about that, because that's an
talk about
interesting
the
story.
UB.
So there was a club hockey team already at UB when I came in my freshman year. And then the second year, there was just like 80 guys at tryouts, and I think there was 3 open spots. And there were so many good, there was guys way better than me getting cut for these spots, and I'm just like, there's got to be a better answer, or like a better option here. So me and Nate actually just got together and just made another team. And within a year, we had our team, a full team, in a league, like competing. We had player dues, we had travel, we had an apparel package. It was
Awesome.
everything, you know. And yeah, we just kept going from there. And yeah, me and Nate are gonna be boys for life.
Good.
Like, so that's gonna carry out in here. So like every year, me and Nate are always gonna play each other. I hope, you know,
So when
as long as this goes.
When you get as old as us,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going to be here playing.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
great.
absolutely. This is not stopping. Yeah, me and Nate actually have a record of who won which games, and like we got our stats going and everything. So it's starting to build up.
So share some with us. Let's
Oh
go.
yeah, I haven't lost.
'Cause we have him on. We have him on next. We're gonna verify some of this. So
Oh
let's,
yeah.
let's hear it.
Better be honest.
My team has won every single year so far, and
Is it close?
He's gotten close one time. We were having too much fun, and they started turning it up in like the last like 4 or 5 minutes of like hour 4 or whatever. And I'm like, yo, are you serious? So like, all of our guys fired it up, and it was like a real life hockey game again,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. And so the
Sometimes,
last,
sometimes it happens.
Yep. So we had a couple good bounces, so you know, a little bit of luck maybe. So,
So
but
Zach,
yeah, 3-0.
You were one of the first players to be in our first community shift promo ad.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that day?
Oh yeah, that's a highlight.
Where
yeah.
were we?
We were down at med school. Yeah.
And why were we there?
What should we call it? That's where I work. That's where I do my research. I also go to med school there now. And yeah, I just work at Roswell, UB, and student there, and I'm part of that whole. Yeah, it's just part of what I do. I'm also a hockey player, you know. But yeah, no, that was a really cool moment for me. Like I still watch that video and like the skyline and everything, because I walk through those doors every single day, and it's just like those doors now and like that view of the city. It's just like now it's a little bit more special. It's just like, you know, I got to have like a nice interview here based on something else that I'm doing that also relates to like everything. You know what I mean? It was a big tie together moment. It's just like I love looking at the city line, you know, walking in the school now, and just because of, like the interview and stuff, and yeah.
So
yeah.
what type of, you mentioned research. I mean,
Yep.
what are your goals in med school?
What are my goals?
Like what do
That's
you
$1
want
million question.
Right.
So I would
What do you want to
love-
focus on?
So I've always liked the neuro stuff. I like brains. I'm a weirdo. I'm a little bit of a space cadet in that sense, you know. And but I'm really drawn. So I'm actually starting to work with a couple of attendings in the neurosurgery oncology department at Roswell. But I would love to just take tumors out of people's heads. I mean, at the end of the day, I could tell all the things I want to do. I just want to take tumors out of people's heads. Like I would love to do that. I mean, that's my dream to do.
Well,
you
you're
know?
pretty driven. You're a pretty driven young man, so I wouldn't bet against you.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet against me either, because it's gonna happen, you know.
That's
and I just love, and this is all part of it too. You know what I mean? Like I'm here, and like I got a couple of my med school friends now.
It's amazing, like the
mhm.
stuff that you've helped us do from day one, literally
Mhm.
from day one that we started, and as we continue,
Mhm.
may actually fund some of what you do
Eventually,
as
yeah.
a profession. That's a pretty cool thought, because
Mhm.
we don't have others that are in that same boat.
Yeah.
Just to think of like some scientific breakthrough, research breakthrough
Mhm.
that you and your team may actually come from funds that we've worked on
Yeah, absolutely.
raising together.
And I've actually thought about that a lot, and like how cool that dynamic is, because like I said, I've been researching a bunch of different things for like the past 5 years, and I can't tell you how many times that like we find something and it's just like we need to do this next, or you read a bunch of papers and come up with this new idea, but there's no money to do it, so it never happens. And now I'm like thinking about like the 11 day and like kind of where I want to go with my life and stuff. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna be playing this all these years, and eventually I might be actually dipping into the money that like we all raised to actually do what I want to do as a career, and like have it come full circle. So I'm waiting for that to happen. But
So you're here
yeah.
not just for the hockey. You're
Oh
here
no, I'm here for everything.
Because
like
you
the
know
whole-
you have
yeah.
the vision. You know what it takes to get
Yeah,
research
this
off
is-
the ground.
This is so important. This is so important.
And you're wearing a special color tonight.
Oh yeah, breast cancer, right?
That's actually my color.
Yep. Yep.
So, were you surprised by your color tonight? Have you been watching us on the live stream? Have you noticed some of the social media posts about what we're trying to do?
Yeah, so I saw the social media post. So you're going with the cancer colors, right? With the ribbons? Yeah. Yep. I like it. That's a really good idea. What's gold? Gold is child. Isn't that child brain?
Pediatric.
Pediatric brain.
Yep.
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 That's
So,
cool. It's a
perfect
nice
combination.
touch. It's a nice little touch on the top. It's awesome. I love it though.
Well, thanks so much, Zach, for being with
Yeah,
us.
thanks for having
when I
us
saw
again,
you, coming in tonight, I was like, yay, I get to see Zach. So we're gonna go to today's colors. So we've had an interesting day. You know, today was supposed to be. I mean, in the original event, we had cancer days, but with teams unable to make it every day, we've had to kind of put teams together that weren't supposed to play against each other to have the event go on.
So colors change a little bit on a daily basis.
Yeah, so today we're instituting a lot of more colors, and that explains why that previous video looks a little different than what our players are wearing currently. What a great interview with Zach.
Zach's amazing. So what we these guys, the first ones to roll out the pink and the gold. Pink for breast cancer, as most people know, and gold for pediatric cancer. So with that, we're gonna. Can you hear us, Nate? All right. So with that, we're gonna welcome our good friend Nate Willis.
Nate.
Welcome, brother.
Hey, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
This is your third year.
It is.
Playing against Zach.
Yep.
Now we need to find out first off. We need to find out if he's being truthful.
Yeah. What did he tell you?
Well, who has
no,
won?
No. What? How is the record going between you two, the two of you?
I think we're 1-1. I'm sure he said differently, but
we might have to get him back on the set.
Yeah, we will have to do that. But no, it's been good. It's been fun. Last couple years.
So Nate, I know that I had sent you a text because we weren't quite sure if you guys were going to pull through and be able to. I know Zach's busy with med school, and you guys all have your jobs. And when I texted you, you said, "Of course we're in."
Yeah.
And you know, to stick with us for a third year. This will be your third year with the community shift during a pandemic, and you know, we're so grateful that you guys pulled your teams together.
Yeah. We wouldn't miss it for sure.
What is your roster composed of?
We are a mix of. People that have played hockey their whole lives. People that, this year is funny because, we have some guys that played with us the last couple of years that hadn't really played hockey, but wanted to be involved in the event. And when they heard it was street hockey, they're like, I played street hockey my whole life.
Of course.
Let's do this. So it's, we're a mix of a fun group and a lot of guys that I've played with and girls that I've played with, but we have a good group.
Well, you and Zach started the captain's grooming early on. He told us kind of the background of how you guys did at UB, but you stole your thunder a little bit because you were just on talking about it. But that's a really cool story, and that's a nice accomplishment.
Yeah.
Not everybody can just start a college hockey club team. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of dedication. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
How long were you on the club team for?
For 2 years. So we started in my junior year, and then we played like a half season my junior year, and then played my whole senior year, and it was great. I got some lifelong friendships out of it, and some really good hockey and a fun time.
So I think I'm correct, but you guys really surprised yourself with that club team, right? Didn't you guys make it to some
We did,
national
we
championship?
made it to the national tournament just our second year of existence. So
and you didn't have any money, right?
Right.
To get to where you needed to get the jerseys and all that stuff.
Yep.
So how did you guys fundraise and get to where you needed to be?
We pulled it together between Zach and myself. We did everything from beer blasts to selling items, whatever it took kind of to make it happen, and covering travel expenses and jerseys and everything like that. It adds up quick, as I'm sure you guys know. So it was a good experience. We made it work. It was nice.
So the fundraising wasn't new to you?
Yes.
So now you're fundraising for cancer.
Yep.
And any person or people that you're playing for at this event?
Yeah, absolutely. My uncle, Ron Shaw, passed a while ago now from cancer, and he was kind of my hockey coach growing up and coached all my teams and drove me to practices when my parents couldn't make it and everything like that. So that's kind of the biggest reason why this event just kind of hit home for me, as I'm sure it does for a lot of people. So it's just been amazing and an honor to be a part of it.
Do you know why you're wearing the color that you're wearing tonight?
I think I heard you guys say pediatric cancer, right? Yeah. So it's a great cause.
So
happy to wear it.
Teams are representing all different cancers. So we're happy that you could be here and represent the pediatrics going through cancer.
Yep. So our friend Nate on the ice is announcing you guys as your top fundraisers. If you want to get out there and join your crew, we're gonna watch the beginning of your game a little bit and maybe heckle you a little bit.
Cool. Awesome.
Play by play.
Nate, really great to talk to you, man.
Yeah, you too, guys.
Thank you very much.
Have fun.
Thank you so much.
Take a sip of water, pull it back up, it'll be all good. You guys are trying to figure out how you're doing with this, so
Once you guys decide, you can get started.
To the limit as far as fundraising goes, and it's very easy. I mean, you go to 11daypowerplay.com and you click donate, and you can actually choose, or you can go to Google and you can look for 11-Day Power Play and press enter. You will find us. You will click donate, and you can choose a fundraiser. You can choose a team.
Mike, M-I-K-E. There we go. Lesakowski. There we go.
And the amount
you're comfortable with.
And
Oh, thanks, Billy. Bill Chef Lucas, always donating to the cause.
If you haven't tuned in the recent nights, we need to make you aware that there is a major competition going on for fundraising. So we have Mike Lesakowski and Bill Chef Lucas vying for first place, I think, right now.
So Bill has about $33,000, and I have about $31,000. So I think I'm going to. Am I allowed to make a
You can do
challenge?
whatever you want, sure.
Okay. I am going to. If we can get me $500 tonight, I'll match $500. So we'll keep reminding people throughout the night. I will personally match $500 if we get to $500. I cannot come in second place. I don't like second place.
I think we should up that to 1,000.
1,000?
I'll put in another 500.
Okay. All right. So Mike and Amy Lesakowski will put in $1,000 of our own money if we can get to $1,000
Before the end of the live stream?
Before the end of the live stream tonight. I think that's a huge challenge. If we get that, I will be at or just beyond Bill. That puts me in first place. So I'm going to be working the phones when you don't see me online. I'm going to be working the phones here, and
do they have to donate to you, or can they donate to of their choice?
No, they have to donate to me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they have to donate to me.
Okay.
We're going to go to live game action here.
read that one, huh? All right.
So we have the world's largest disco sponsoring Light the Lamp, and we have Memory Fox sponsoring the Miracle Workers. And we couldn't do it without our sponsors. So one thing that we've learned with our event is we need players, we need hockey players, and we need volunteers. And sometimes we're lucky enough to have a player and a volunteer from the same family that comes every year and participates and does amazing things for us. And they become our family. You can meet this family.
We don't even know what our first date was. It was never dating. It was just like we knew almost instantly when we first hung out.
We just knew. We just knew.
I still had 2 houses. She had a house. We were trying to fix stuff up, take care of my dad, get kids on the way, and so it was easy enough to kind of sneak the proposal in. We both do preservation work. We were doing a cleanup of this theater on Broadway. It was winter still, so I couldn't get her to stop. She's going over like who we can contact to do the plaster work and paint, and she's taking pictures, and I'm on one knee, and I'm like, could you turn around, please? And finally, she turned around. We had been trying to have kids for a year, and it wasn't working out. So we figured we could plan the wedding and we'd be all right. And then I got word, she called me at work that she was pregnant.
We've been waiting too long for this. I just got to call and tell them.
So we went in and we were at the ultrasound, and the lady goes, 1, 2, 3. And neither of us said a word. I could see the screen. I knew exactly what she meant by 3. And then she repeated it, and she was like, yeah, I see 3 here. And you realize that your house that's too small for 2 of you is
it's about to get smaller.
Yep.
Throughout the whole year, we're always looking for different ways we can fundraise for the power play, for the team. And so we decided, we're like, hey, we're having triplets. That's kind of weird. How can we turn that into a fundraiser? So we had people guess the sexes of the triplets. We ended up raising, it was over $300 just from that little fun fundraiser for the power play. So each baby actually raised at least $100 for the power play before they were even born.
The week we were going to go get the marriage license or sign for it was when her water broke at 20 weeks.
I started to go into labor.
And we go running into Children's Hospital in the wrong door because we haven't talked to them about deliveries or, we're 20 weeks away from this.
I had to get them to Sunday to give them any kind of a chance at all.
So she just stayed in labor for 77 straight hours. She's in so much pain. Jack, whose water had broke, had already moved down and he was ready to come out. And basically the way I looked at it is that he kind of held the door shut for the other 2 because they thought he'd come right out, and he just wouldn't. Jack came 23 minutes once it was Sunday morning, and he passed with us at 7 in the morning. So she's still having contractions, and we had to say goodbye to our son.
Max came a couple hours later, and then 10 minutes later, Larkin came.
Typical Max fashion. He didn't even wait for the C-section, and that was Max. He was our little wiggle worm.
And the room is full of doctors and nurses surrounding his little bed. But he survived those 2 nights. Day 5, we found out he wasn't going to make it. But for the past 94 days, our daughter has just been kicking ass, and she's still here, and she's doing really well.
That's my girl. Yeah, wow, look at those pretty eyes.
Look at them. You're doing so well, sweetie. I just love you so much.
She's incredible. She was born at 1 pound, 1 ounce. It's basically the size of your hand. To go from there to where she is now, where we go in and she gives us some side eye for waking her up, and we're bottle feeding her. She can smile and she can cry. You don't even realize how great that is, but she's been doing great.
It makes the power play, I think, that much more important now that some of the money raised goes to children's. I volunteered, 20 plus hours the first year with the original 40. The next year I did the same thing, and he got 2 teams together.
I reached out to my roller hockey guys and Canisius guys, and in total we've played 10 or 12 hours against each other with basically the same teams, and I think it's separated by like 1 goal right now. Like, it's real close.
So when you hear the word volunteer, I think a lot of people think it's kind of like work. It's not. This experience has been so much different, but it very quickly becomes something else. You bond with people that are going through the same experiences that you've gone through. I don't know anyone that hasn't been affected by it in some way. My grandfather died of cancer, and he and I were really, really close. It just means this event keeps getting more and more important each year.
That's pretty much been my understanding of how people die. Just before the power play started, I found out that my dad had cancer. I love the guy, and he did so much for me growing up, and he lost his brother to the exact same thing. So he knew all about it, way too much, and he's had a hard go of it. And so is my mom, but I'm so glad they're there.
There's got to be an end somewhere, right? So that's what we're all fighting for.
Any attempt we made to host a wedding, no. So finally we were just like, okay, why don't we just go to my parents, use their lawn, have her parents show up. That provides witnesses. They got ready quick and came out, and they were like on the porch. Her parents acted as photographers and just kind of circled around, and her mom's holding her breath in the picture.
Holding their breath because they were so afraid to make us sick.
And we needed something to wear, so Chrissy came up with wearing power play stuff.
I'm like, what do we have that means something to us? And that's what it was. It just seemed right. It was what our wedding was going to be.
It has felt that way since we got together, so.
It's like the one thing this year, I think, that just seemed like it was the way it was supposed to go.
It's important to us that the power play keeps going through this.
It'll always be something that I'm involved with, and hopefully with Larkin being here, we can find fun ways to get her involved too, and make it a part of her life as well. Thank you guys so much. It's a family, and you're in it for life now. Like, it's amazing. It really is amazing. It's so much more than I thought it was going to be when I started.
We just want to keep it all going. There's plenty of people that still need help, and so the more money we can raise, and the more attention, and the more good they can bring, it's important to us.
This family, the 11 Day, this is what we do to make a difference and to keep going.
And we have Chrissy in the studio with us tonight. Chrissy, how is Larkin?
She is doing very well. She's kind of an easy baby, aside from, all the meds and oxygen that she came home on. She's doing very well. She was ready to come home, I think.
I'm so glad she's home with you. You guys have had such a long, year, and to have her home with you, it's just amazing. And I know you've become a nurse. I mean, you've had to learn how to do things that you've never had to do before.
Yep. Administer meds, use a nebulizer, learn all about the different monitors and oxygen tanks and all kinds of things. Yeah, never in a million years would have thought that we would need to know these things, but we do, and she's doing really well. So it's definitely worth it to have her home.
Yeah. Is Mark ready for his game tomorrow?
He as ready as Mark is ever going to be. The first year that he did this, I made a sign that said you should have gone to the gym. And we saved it. So every year.
You didn't recycle it?
Yeah.
Sorry to jump to that, but I've been thinking of him because how do you train going through such, just a year that has just taken up so much energy and time for you guys, and to get ready for the 11-day power play. And he's playing tomorrow, and his team's coming out, and he's put so much energy in that with everything else that you guys have gone through.
Yeah, it's been challenging for everyone. I think not just for us. Our issues just kind of added to everything else. But it's important. So it was important to still participate in the event. And, maybe now more so than ever to kind of pour yourself into something else, because so much of our time has been dedicated to, 128 days in the NICU and, all of getting used to having a new baby at home, but also a new baby that needs so much extra care.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good release to do something else, that's also positive, but just to kind of step away from some of that for a little bit.
This year's with our event is different in so many ways. One of the ways, which is a little bit sad, is that we don't need as many volunteers. But in years past, you were one of our rock stars. So we always want to acknowledge how difficult it is to put on this event in terms of, the logistics and the support. And it literally could not happen without volunteers, and not just volunteers, people that take the lead, such as yourself. So thank you. Thank you very much. It means a lot to us.
I was sad actually this year that Sarah's like, nope, we don't need you. Stay home. Stay home with the baby.
Wow.
We don't need you this year. And I was like, are you sure? Is there something else I can do? Something behind the scenes? Something from home? Is there anything else I can do? But yeah, so it kind of started because it sounded like such a great event. I couldn't imagine not being involved, but I'm like, I don't have any money. I don't have a substantial enough amount of money to get to that $1 million goal. What else can I do to help this event get there, to break the record that first year? He said, I can free up some time. So that's how it started.
I think you're amazing. I mean, through it all, we were still getting emails from you saying, please put me down to volunteer. And, we were concerned about, your safety. I think like your parents were concerned about being around you and Mark and then passing something on to the baby. We were the same way. As much as we loved you and wanted you with us, we had to convince you that it was probably better for you to stay home with Larkin and watch us on the live stream. But
which I have done.
We convinced you to come and join us tonight so that we could, of course, see you and chat with you, and you're part of our family. You always will be. So thank you for chatting with us.
I appreciate this so much.
Chrissy,
I really do.
There's I think Mark, I forget where I heard it. Is there someone on Mark's team that was recently diagnosed?
Yes. So when Mark got his first two teams together, obviously it was a lot of people that he needed because it was 4 hours that year. None of the guys were sure how they would fare. So he was trying to get as many people as possible on either side so that everyone could participate and be comfortable and no one would get injured and that sort of thing. And one of my friends played ice hockey. So I asked him, I said, hey, do you want to come be on one of Mark's teams this year? And he's like, yeah, great. So for the last 2 years, he was on the team, and he didn't know anyone else on the team. But he participated because it was important to him, and he had a great time. And I hope that he met friends, through the event. And then this year, all of a sudden, he couldn't play. And we didn't know why. And I thought, well, maybe his work schedule was a little crazy or something, or, we didn't really know. And then it came out that he had esophageal cancer, and we couldn't believe it. You think of some of these things as people that smoke or that are hard partiers, but that's not the case at all for any type of cancer, really. I mean, we're kind of all fair game, I guess. There's really no one's safe from it. So that was his story. He couldn't play this year because he was diagnosed with esophageal cancer. He went through all kinds of treatments. So far, it's been successful, but the team decided to put him on the roster anyway, and they raised his more than his minimum so he could still be on the team, still get his jersey this year, and they obviously hope to see him next year playing.
Awesome. I don't know if you remember this or not. Do you remember last year, I'm changing subjects, but last year there was a night that someone didn't show up or something. It was an overnight, and I was going to sit down and like check in people for like a 3 a.m. shift, and I was zonked. I had played. Amy had been up like a whole day, so I'm like, go to bed, I'll take care of it. And I was like you saw me and you were like, you're fried, I'll take care of it. So like we got situated, and you insisted that I go to bed so I could get some sleep. Do you remember this or no? You probably don't, because you probably did that more than once.
I basically took on, it was like a second full-time job during the 11-day last year.
The point was, like, you knew that I was, like, I shouldn't have been up any longer. And you're like, go to sleep, I got it. I'm like, okay, if you insist. So, I probably went to bed at like 3 and got up at 6 and came back down or whatever. But, like, that's just a glimpse of 4 years that you've helped us with. And, Mark putting the team together, and it's not easy. So it's we really appreciate it. We love having you guys part of it. You're part of our family.
Thank you.
Chrissy, so being at the 11-day for 3 years, any funny stories, anything that's happened during that time that stands out?
I don't know if there's been any funny stories. I think what's amazing about it is everyone's dedication to it. I mean, it's not just me, it's all of the volunteers are willing to stay extra shifts, willing to come in early, to stay over. We're there when we're not even volunteering, just because it feels weird to not be there during the event. So, no, not really funny stories, but awesome stories of just, I have friends for life from this event, and every year I add more to that list. It's amazing. It really is amazing, and everyone is so awesome, and it doesn't matter how tired you are. You do what you have to do, you get through it, and everyone has a smile on their face. And after that first year, there were a couple of us that were basically in tears because we're like, the event's over. Is it ever going to happen again? What are we going to do now? We spent so much time here at this event. What are we going to do? Where do we go every night after work? Like, how do we do this? So there's definitely a whole team behind you guys that can't wait until next year, that are willing to step in and do whatever is necessary to make sure that the event continues to go on, because I'm sure there's some sort of burnout involved. But just know you guys have an entire team of people that are ready to do whatever you guys need, and that's just what the power play is.
One last question is, you and I chatted just for a second before, and you noticed the jerseys.
Yes. How are the jerseys working this year? There's so many different things going on.
Don't worry, you don't have to set up the locker room. You don't have to figure out what color to put in there.
No, usually that's what I don't have to worry about.
So we are raising awareness for the most common cancers in our community. We did as many as we could, in these 11 days, and the players are representing different cancer color ribbons. So tonight we have pink breast cancer, and the gold is pediatric cancer. And tomorrow will be different. And, I think it's really cool when you see the players not even question or mind what color they're wearing. We were a little concerned about, people wanting to wear a certain color, but now we have players trading. Like, my aunt had lymphoma. Can I have your green jersey? And, just really seeing the players embrace it. We can't use locker rooms, so I know your favorite thing to do is to set up the name tags and the players' jerseys, and this year's different. No locker rooms and no name tags, but they've got some really cool colors out there.
That's a really awesome idea too, because it's great to raise awareness. You're like, oh, what does green mean, or what does white mean? And it gets more people, it educates more people about why we're here
Right.
and what it is
Right.
that we're doing.
So speaking of colors, we've got pink and gold playing. Let's check in on see how Zach and Nate are doing. Can you see the score there? I can't see it from here. 6-4. I'm not
15
sure.
minutes left.
We have 15 minutes left in the first half. So let's just watch some of these guys play for a bit. And girls, by the way. Handful of girls out there, sorry.
This year, raising awareness to different cancers is our priority. You know, we really want to be able to educate the community. And a couple weeks ago, I had the honor of sitting down with Dr. Lee to talk about myeloma. Well, Dr. Lee, thank you so much for being with us today and taking the time out of your busy day.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to just start and have you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about where you're from and why you do what you do.
My name's Kelvin Lee. I am the Jacobs Family Chair of Immunology here at Roswell Park. I'm also a professor in the Department of Medicine, and I see primarily myeloma patients, and I'm also the Senior Vice President for Basic Sciences. My journey here has been a long one, and I actually started at the University of Michigan, where I went to medical school, University of Colorado, where I did my internship and residency in internal medicine, back to Michigan to do my fellowship in hematology and oncology, and then the University of Miami, the Bethesda Naval Medical Research Center, and finally Roswell Park.
Wow. Well,
I've been a traveling man, so.
Well, we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Can you explain in layman's term, or as easy as possible, what is myeloma?
So multiple myeloma is a blood cancer. So it is a cancer that is primarily found in patients' bone marrow, and it's all throughout the bone marrow. And multiple myeloma is actually the normal cell, the normal non-cancerous version of multiple myeloma are called plasma cells. And these are the cells that, in fact, make the antibodies that protect you against influenza, polio, smallpox, and COVID-19. So the normal cell plays a very important role in your immune system in protecting you against a bunch of infections. But for some reason, and it's not clear what exactly happens, that one of these cells develops a genetic mutation in it which causes it to become cancerous. It still goes to the bone marrow where normal plasma cells live, but it begins to grow uncontrollably. It grows pretty slowly, though, so patients can have a pre-malignant syndrome called monoclonal gammopathy of unknown significance, which is a long name, so we just call it MGUS. People can have MGUS. It's about 1 to 2% of the entire population. They can have it for decades, and only a small percentage of these MGUS patients actually turn into myeloma, where their MGUS cells begin to grow in an uncontrolled fashion. So that's what multiple myeloma is. It is, in fact, people call it a rare cancer, but it's the second most common blood cancer behind non-Hodgkin's lymphoma that afflicts patients worldwide.
Are there common symptoms? Somebody that has myeloma, multiple myeloma, will they feel a certain way? What are some signs of it?
So myeloma, in fact, is classically described as having effects that are encapsulated in the acronym CRAB, C-R-A-B. So these are the things that myeloma causes problems with. So because myeloma grows in the bone marrow and erodes the bone, it causes a release of calcium. So extra calcium in your blood is the C in CRAB, and extra calcium in your blood can cause problems like fatigue, drop in levels of alertness, can cause kidney problems. The R in CRAB stands for renal. Renal is Latin for the kidney. And the myeloma cells, they still make that antibody that they were originally designed to make, but they make much too much of it. And that in our staging of the disease or assessment of the disease is called the M protein. M actually stands for monoclonal or myeloma. And these antibodies actually gather to too high of a level in your blood. They make your blood too thick, and that clogs up your kidneys, and your kidneys stop working. So people can run into kidney failure, which is, again, caused by fluid overload, fatigue, difficulty breathing, things like that. The A in CRAB stands for anemia because the myeloma cells crowd out the regular bone marrow. You can't make a normal amount of red blood cells, so you become anemic, and that can be manifested by shortness of breath. People that could normally have gone up a flight of stairs without a problem now begin to notice they get really short-winded when they try to go do their sort of normal exercise. And then the B in CRAB stands for bones. Because myeloma erodes the bones, people can fracture bones. Completely doing normal activity. I had one patient who fractured her arm when she was picking up her grandkid. So those are the major clinical symptoms that patients will notice when their myeloma begins to get to the point where it's beginning to impact them in a bad way.
So there's incredible research that's going on here at Roswell Park. How important are the funds that are generated from the community to support you and your research? How important is that for you?
So it's incredibly important for two reasons. One is that I think that all of us in the myeloma field, so right now myeloma is considered incurable, that patients actually do live a fair amount of time. It's currently the median time from the diagnosis to when patients actually succumb to the disease is about 8 years. So it's not a rapidly, a growing disease that takes a person's life. And progress really over the last, I would say, 10 years has expanded that time from when I first started in the field, it really was about 2 years. And every year it's gone longer. Every year the advances in research have really pushed the frontier forward to the point now where I think a lot of the folks that are doing myeloma research are thinking, gosh, we are close to a cure with novel immunotherapies, novel drugs. And so we're very excited. And the money raised by the 11-day power play goes to fund research to actually try to understand what are the weak points in myeloma? What are the novel therapeutics? How can we harness the immune system to attack myeloma? And that really has become an extraordinarily exciting area. And we think that it is only a matter of time, and only a short matter of time before we actually can say that we can cure this cancer. So we're very excited about that. The other thing that the funds from the 11-day power play really are extraordinarily important for the research community is the basic sense that as a researcher you are supported by the community. You are supported by people that really don't know you from Adam. As I've said many times, they don't know you from Adam, but they believe in what you do. So they go out there and they'll play a bazillion hours of hockey through all kinds of conditions to raise that money because they believe in you. And I always tell our researchers that that's almost more important than the money itself, to have the belief of a community, because research is hard. We fail all the time. I would say that 80% of what we do, we fail at. Our patients pass away after very courageous struggles. So the support and the encouragement by everybody that's involved in the 11-day power play is of enormous emotional and psychological a source of strength for the researchers here.
That's wonderful. I know they'll be happy to hear that. They do really put a lot of effort in the fundraising, but also physically training.
Exactly. It's not an easy thing. Now, they don't have to do all 11 days anymore, right? They're doing it in shifts. I gotta take my hats off to the guys that did it, or the guys and the women that did it for all 11 days. That was pretty darn amazing in your first year. So.
Well, I know they loved meeting you back in January prior to the year starting and learning all about, the research going on here. What is it like being ranked 14th in the country out of all of the cancer care in the United States? How does that feel for you and your colleagues?
So it is both great, and it really is a testament to the wonderful team that's here. I mean, the people that are here are some of the most dedicated people on the planet. And you see that in the rankings. You also see that during the COVID-19 pandemic back, January, February, March, April, we shut down and then we restarted and it went incredibly smoothly. And that really was a testament to all the people that are here, all their dedication to the mission and the dedication to the patients and the research. On the other hand, we're all sitting there going, we should have been ranked higher than 14, so we have something to shoot for going forward. So, and that's good. That means that there's a hunger to be even better than we are now. So.
it's incredible that, you are ranked number 14th. We have Roswell Park in our backyard, and people that live in our community don't have to travel so far to get to an incredible hospital. You're right here. Any last words for the hockey players and the volunteers and everyone that supports the 11-day power play?
I just want to thank you guys for all that you do, all the dedication. I actually think that what you guys are doing is harder than the research that we do, because the research we do, we understand, and we've been doing it for a long time. But to take time off to dedicate yourself to such a worthy cause, the training, the ice time, the uncertainty this year of how things will get done and where things will get done, I think that's even harder than coming to work every day and doing lab work and doing research. So again, hats off to all you guys, or helmets off to all you guys for the tremendous work that you do.
Well, thank you, Dr. Lee, for being here today and for talking to us. It's been wonderful.
You're welcome. It's great being part of it. One of these days I'll learn to skate. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, and I've tried several times, and it has been a general disaster. But, one of these days.
We will save you a spot on the bench.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Dr. Lee.
You're welcome.
So while we were watching that awesome video for Dr. Lee, we got a call on the personal line that our dogs escaped. So that was fun. And, now that we're frazzled, I don't know what to do, we're going to have to go to the stuck bucket. So, whenever we don't know what to do, carry on the show, we go to the Crawley Web Stuck Bucket, ask a question, and see where it takes us. So, okay, this is a good question. I don't think people really know this, but I want you to tell us, how long does it take to plan the 11-day power play event?
Do you think that's the community shift or the original event? They're
talk
probably
about,
similar.
Talk about the original event first.
Yeah, so when we do a community shift, we move back to the office. We take a couple weeks to sort through merchandise and, everything, all of our supplies, close out the event is the correct term. And then we start planning the next year. There's so much that goes into it, and we have to start right away. We also plan for our Power Player Recognition Night in the fall, which is an awesome night with our power players. We treat them to a night of dinner and cocktails, and they get their awards.
It's not just power players; it's also
volunteers. Yeah. So we our lead volunteers who, work more than, I think it's 24 hours during the event to support us, are also invited with a guest, and that's like planning a wedding, but it's so much fun, and they get awards. So then, just getting everything ready for applications, our system rebooting it. We have to merge a lot of accounts, and we launch our next event generally in November. And then there's interviews with captains, and then there's just so much after we pick the teams involved. We have to.
So the short answer is, it really, once we stop this event, we're going to turn around and start planning the next one. So it's really
what do you think the next one's going to be? That's really, we've talked about this off air, so
well, there's
you
a couple
want to talk about
things.
A, B, and C?
Sure.
Okay.
We're going to be doing the community event. The community event is, Buffalo has embraced it. Thousands of players play. Thousands of players raise money, and we've raised over $1 million every year, including this year, which is, we can pat ourselves on the back, I think, for 2020. So the community event, that's going to live on. Some of the other stuff that's in the works are the original event, which was the world record event. So we're going to do it. We're gonna get through our event in 2020.
I think we're going to do it sooner than people think we're going to do it.
We're going to do it soon. We don't have any set plans, but I think that we've talked about it enough. It's time. It was so. It was the start of what we're doing right now. So I think we owe it to ourselves to continue that as well. We can't do it every year; it's just impossible. Plus, I'll probably die if we do it again this year. So I got at least one more of those in me as I get to the big 5-0 soon. And then, so that'll be cool. We'll we'll see how that works out. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to get to, this is a little bit of a tangent, I'm not sure if we're going to talk to the guys from Canada, but those guys have done it in Canada. They own the record again, so Edmonton, Alberta owns the record, so we'll have to talk to Dr. Sake at some time in the future to tell him we're going to break his record, which will be fun.
It'll be fun to tell him because he generally just says, let me know what you need.
Yep.
He's awesome.
And the other thing, this is a little bit bigger picture stuff, and I think it's requires a little bit more thought, but we've already done some of our due diligence, and we've talked to a few folks out of town. Do you want to share that? Or want me to?
Go ahead, you're on a roll.
Yep. So after we did the original event, after we did the first 2 community events, people in other parts of the country heard about it and knew about it and saw the success that we had in terms of fundraising and where the money went. And obviously there's cancer hospitals and Make-A-Wish and places like Camp Good Days all around the country. So, and there's also 30 some NHL teams and NHL cities. So Buffalo's not the only hockey town, so to speak. There are many of them around the country. We've been reached out from Las Vegas, which would be an amazing place. They want us to come to Las Vegas and do something similar. We've talked to the Pittsburgh Penguins Foundation. Mario Lemieux is a cancer survivor, so there's the Mario Lemieux Foundation. There's a Pittsburgh Penguins Foundation. They're down the road. They're a blue-collar town like Buffalo, just even a little bit bigger. So we've already made some inroads in those regards, and this would be successful in Chicago. It would be successful in Boston. It would be successful in Detroit, places that are considered hockey towns, and it's going to be a little bit down the road, but it gets us excited thinking about it. I know we've had the preliminary discussions, and I think after we decompress from this event, maybe we'll revisit those thoughts.
I mean, we had some cities coming this summer to watch the community shift
Right.
at Harbor Center,
Right.
and obviously with the pandemic,
Right.
that didn't happen.
Right.
But that's how interested they are. How amazing to have this event from Buffalo.
Right.
Get interest from other cities. It's always going to be a Buffalo. It's always going to have started here in Buffalo, and I think our players and our volunteers and our donors and the community should be really proud of that.
Absolutely.
Yes, Justin, Yurik, please catch the dogs before you come with us later. So we had some 5 shifts played today, and you talked to some.
Yep, we talked to
some of the captains.
Yep,
I'm here with
it was a couple good Polish names.
Thank you for playing. Thank you for attending. Were you here last night?
Yes, I was.
Awesome game. You guys had a tie game, and then
one of my co-workers, WGR Derek.
Hi, Dr. Chada. Thank you so much for